Cyberpunk 2077 modding has been doing really well lately. We've been getting quite a few of those download once and keep it forever mods, whether that just be adding in new features or even upping your immersion in the game, and even one mod that I think is going to be perfect to start a new playthrough with. But first up, we do have one of those mods that's going to become a permanent download for many of you, the Cyberpunk 2077 HD Reworked project. From the same author who created the insanely popular mod for The Witcher 3, this will overhaul a variety of textures in Cyberpunk 2077 to be far higher quality. This mod's mostly going to apply to some of the background textures, making it very compatible with other HD texture mods out there. So things like roads, some of the walls in the game, and even some of the other miscellaneous things like couches are going to have their textures vastly improved. This is going to be a retexture mod, not just an upscale, but it still remains very faithful to the Cyberpunk art style. And in some instances, the upgrade here is really big. You're going to notice quite a bit of additional detail, especially as you zoom in. This didn't have a huge performance hit for me, but depending on your system, you may notice a couple of FPS lower. And in general, I think it's a really nice base coat mod that's going to make some of the various aspects of Night City, like roads, walls, and textures around those, just look better, which is definitely pretty handy as Cyberpunk 2077 is rapidly approaching 3 years old. But then we also do have a cut feature being somewhat returned with Immersive Rippers. This is going to be a really fun mod that'll make it so as you go shopping at the various Ripper docks in Night City, you're actually going to sit in the chair at those Ripper docks, almost like you're actually at the doctor's office. It's pretty simple. You basically just walk up to them and start talking, and you'll transition into the chair and the Ripper dock will stand by it. And then from there, as you're sitting in the chair, you can do the typical shopping and chatting with the Ripper dock, and the transaction will actually complete and charge you as you get up and go to leave. And even has a pretty nice bonus feature of allowing you to pay off Fingers to let you use his services again. Fingers is the Ripper dock you're able to punch in Cyberpunk, and if you do punch him, it's going to lock you out of his cyberware completely, some of which is only available from him. But if you ever found your cyberware options to be just a bit disappointing, throughout Cyberpunk 2077, you're going to see some seriously epic cyberware, and a lot of this you can't have for yourself. Well, Monster Raider is working to fix that with Psycho Cyberwares. There's going to be 2 separate mods implementing Maelstrom-styled cyberware that you're able to apply and purchase for your own character. This is not going to be a replacer, and the way it'll work is you apply these as various clothing items that will overhaul the visuals of your character. This mod's going to have a ton of different options, ton of face-altering cyberware to choose from that is definitely quite extreme, but also this will apply to the rest of your body. You can have cyberware that will replace most of the visuals of your body overall, almost like a new skin on your character. And a lot of this will definitely make it look like you are a far more enhanced human, although alternatively you can also get some of the not as extreme but still great looking arm and leg cyberware that this includes. And as you apply some of these, you'll even notice in first person, you'll be able to see some of this new cyberware moving around on your body, which is just a really nice touch. But if you are somebody who is downloading that mod or really just downloading clothing or cyberware overhaul mods in Cyberpunk in general, you also need to download Equipment EX. This is one of the most popular new mods for the game, and what it's going to do is integrate a totally new outfit manager and outfit system into Cyberpunk. It'll hook into the wardrobe functionality that was added with one of the last updates. And on one hand, it's just going to make things a lot more user-friendly. Now you're going to actually have a search bar so you could try and find that specific piece of clothing. You're able to create an unlimited number of outfit combinations and save them. But more importantly, it's going to actually give you more clothing slots in the game. So instead of you just having the typical head and face slots, now you're going to have distinct slots for head, mask, glasses, and wreaths. And the real power of this being is you can actually layer all of the items in those slots. So this will in turn give you far more customization over your character's appearance because you're able to actually equip more items at one time. And this will apply to all of the various customization slots available to you. So if you're using modded content like Psycho Cyberware, you can create even cooler customizations with other clothes, but it also is great even just with some of the vanilla clothing options. You'll just have a far greater degree of customizability overall. But hey, maybe you just want some new cars. As of late, Cyberpunk has been getting some epic new cars like the 1991 BMW E30 M3, which honestly, with the presence of the Porsche in Cyberpunk, this BMW doesn't even feel all that out of place. For some reason, it almost feels like a cool retro touch and even does have some custom features. Over the past few months, we've started to see some of these car mods actually advance beyond just basic replacers and actually have some cool stuff on their own. You'll be able to buy this new car via a shop on your computer, but you're also able to take it to the car modification shop if you have that mod installed. Which, speaking of, if you do have that mod installed, you should probably also install the Appearance Menu Manager Car Modification Shop. This is basically going to be a new skin for the shop. Originally, the location's pretty bare bones, cobblestones, but now it'll turn it into a proper garage, even featuring some pretty cool custom decorations around the garage. But with that said, the M3 has a ton of customization options. You can make this thing absolutely fly and handle incredibly. Or if that's not really your style, you can also get the Nissan Skyline GTR R34. This is going to be another totally custom vehicle mod that you can also purchase from your PC. And this also has a variety of color options that you can choose as you're purchasing it, which is just a really cool touch. It looks great in game and even features a custom description as you scan it. And if you want to take things even a bit further, you can actually download a body kit for this car, as the C West kit will make your GTR truly stand out in Night City. But then we do have a legitimate game-changing new mod with Survival System. This just dropped a couple of weeks ago, and it is effectively a hardcore overhaul for Cyberpunk 2077, starting off with food, drink, and sleep requirements that you will need to attend to survive, but also just not have your character be significantly debuffed. This is going to work in the way you would expect. These values will drain over time, and you're going to have to find food and drink or sleep to actually restore them back up. And what really elevates this mod to the next level is how well it's integrated. You're going to have these nice status indicators on your HUD at all times, so you're able to see what levels you're at, as well as consumables in the game are now going to list how much of these values they will restore, or even in some cases how much of the values they'll degrade. And you can see them at all times in your inventory menu as you're actually consuming foods, or even if you're in the wait or sleep menu. As you go to sleep, you'll be able to see how much some bars will be restored and how much some others will be degraded and declined during the time you are asleep. But of course, this isn't just a role-playing mechanic. Getting dehydrated will have character impacts, like you having less movement speed and stamina overall, or your hunger level draining is going to hurt your overall health as well as your stamina, but also reduce things like carry weight and jump height. You're hungry, so you're going to have far less energy, but also your actual energy levels from sleeping, which if you let that get too low, you'll actually have less RAM and memory for quick hacks. And if things do get particularly dire, you're even going to have some on-screen effects as you really get into a declining state. For me, I think this creates a more enjoyable gameplay loop. You're going to actually have to go and buy food from time to time, or even just stop and sleep, whether this be in your car or apartment. This mod also has some of the other familiar hardcore features from other games, like ammo and food having weight now, and a lot of this stuff being notably heavier, but thankfully the mod is fully configurable, so you can change all of these settings or even turn off some features if you don't like them. Which, if you really want to boost immersion to the next level, you can also download the Immersive Bartenders mod, which will allow you to go to some of the various bars in Night City and actually order a drink and drink it there. And this does have integrations with the Survival System mod, so this drink will impact your survival stats. And then we have one of those mods that some of you are going to love and some others are just going to think is really dumb. You see that chair? Well, now you can sit in it, thanks to the Sit Anywhere mod. It's actually a pretty simple one. Now you open your scanner and a sit option will pop up on many of the chairs or other seating objects in Night City. And that is literally the entire mod. It just lets you sit on some of the various dirty couches or very uncomfortable looking outdoor seating. This is going to be huge for those of you who love immersion. It allows you to actually just take a seat and watch Night City happen around you, watch things unfold and just kind of people watch. But I definitely know there's quite a few others out there who are going to find a mod like this utterly useless. But then a mod you probably won't find utterly useless is romance replays. I think a lot of you guys are going to like this one. It allows you to replay the romance scenes with all of the various characters in game as long as you have already romanced them. There's some backstory as to how this is actually working as far as it accessing your memory, but in general, you're going to use this shard to replay a memory, and of course, that's going to replay the romance scene so you can visually take it in again. But with that in mind, those are a bunch of the new mods that just recently came to Cyberpunk 2077 that I think quite a few of you are going to really like and want to download. But if you are interested in upgrading the romance in this game even further, you can check out this video I recently posted about a bunch of different romance overhauls for Cyberpunk. Otherwise, I thank you all again for watching, and I hope to see you all next time.